Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's the leader of the Cosmic Armada, Wolf Nara, back to bring you another discussion type video. Today we're going to be talking about Takaba. And one of the things that we as humans typically take for granted is our connections with others. One of the scariest things as a human is to be able to go throughout your entire life without being understood, without being loved, without being close to anyone. And when you have that experience in your life, it typically forces you to become secluded and tend to not deal with people or to communicate with people. But we have someone like Takaba, someone who's not necessarily able to get close to others, someone who was regarded as cold when they was younger. And when he told his first joke, he was able to get closer to people through their laughter. And so as Takaba goes throughout his life, we have many instances from trying to work with people who don't take what he takes serious. You feel me? Basically meaning that him taking comedy serious, other people don't take as serious. And so it goes to show you one of the many lessons that we learn throughout our lives, that it's no one's job to have the same passion as you. It's no one's job to hold your hand the entire road. The road to success is paved in loneliness. And so we actually get that with Takaba. However, it's in regards to the road of failure. And so most people, we always see that there are successful people in this world in which we never really ponder what did they do, what trials and tribulations did they have to overcome to become that successful person or anything of that nature. So when we have someone like Takaba, someone who constantly fails at everything he does, constantly fails at comedy, not regarded as funny to other comics, and then you have the aspect of him asking himself, why am I doing this? And we have a ton of different people, a plethora of different adults probably in a certain field asking themselves why they're doing this particular thing, what keeps them going. People their age, one thing that really kind of hit home for me is like people their age typically already have a family by now. They are already worried about their kids. They're not worried about doing comedy. And so you have the aspect of, do you let your dream die with your age, or do you continue to live in that delusion that allowed you to keep going down this way? And another thing that we typically forget as an adult is that innocence that we had as a kid, that delusion that we was able to do whatever we set our mind to. And I'm not going to necessarily call it a delusion, but more of that the ideal that we had as a kid, that we can do whatever we set our minds to. If I want to be an astronaut cowboy, I'm going to be an astronaut cowboy. And that innocence right there is the driving force to why Takaba does what he does. Whether you fail or you succeed, it doesn't really matter how many times you get knocked off the horse, as long as you continue to get back on that horse. And we continue to see this with Takaba as we go through his life before this. And so one thing Kenjaku says is that he doesn't really care how the new age Jujutsu sorcerers operate. We see that Takaba powers came from his yearning to be understood, his yearning to be a comic, his yearning to not be lonely. And so whenever we don't see Takaba with comics, we typically see him by himself, eating noodles in a crowded apartment filled with trash and other DVDs so he can study. And then he asked himself one really serious question is, when did I start taking comedy serious? When did this become a serious thing? I thought comedy was supposed to be fun. In which he then begins to talk to his younger self, in which his younger self really didn't have any logic in why he's doing what he's doing. It's literally because he wants to get close to people. He wants to not be as lonely as he was before. And adulthood can be lonely. Not necessarily having the people around you who you want to have around you, not necessarily having the things around you that you want to have around you, not even having the necessary support system that's needed to grow further than what you are today. And that's one of the things that Takaba had to overcome, in which we then see that he understands that although he can make 99 people laugh. If that 100 person don't laugh, it's almost as if it's for naught. And one thing in Jujutsu Kaisen is that selfishness makes the strongest of sorcerers. And so when Takaba says he doesn't care, he wants to have that one person to make that 100% laugh, because that is his selfishness. And I really do enjoy that aspect, because we always look at comedians and all of the jokes that they tell, no matter how dark, no matter how light the joke is, even if they're serious, we always consider it as a joke, no matter what kind of pain they go through to even get to the point that they are today, whether they was homeless or whether they was starving, whether they was alone, dealing with depression, and comedy was the only way that they could not only express themselves, but also vent in a healthy way without having that internal conflict destroy them mentally. And so we also get that with Takaba as well. So honestly, Takaba after this chapter has become one of my favorite characters. I may not like edit this video. Yeah, y'all gonna hear me stumble and bubble all over my words just to get the point across. But I just want to make sure we definitely get this talked about, and how Takaba is definitely one of the best characters in regards to motivation in Jujutsu Kaisen. No one really has motivated me more, or I have related to more than Takaba, besides Nanami, and that was just basically him going off in that one line tangent, just indicating that everything is changed and change is inevitable, and he wants to fight to keep that change. And even with that change that Nanami himself tried to fight to keep, when you try to hold on to everything, you tend on losing everything. So anyway, this is really all I got for this discussion type video on why I really enjoyed Takaba character after chapter 241, how Gege really made him a masterclass character, in my opinion, someone you could pretty much gain inspiration from in regards to the way he goes about doing things. But anyway, it's been your boy Wolf Nara. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm out.
Who really a factor? I done grew up as a bastard, stepped out the wound into a disaster. Designing drugs and guns on my city after, pray for the lackers. Cause it only get worse and they try to blame it on the rappers, label what's factors. My rappy told me sign an affidavit like my life and my family ain't matter. Do you know how I feel to get served to the court on the